Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another Wall Street Wednesday right here on the Unbearably Bullish podcast, the official podcast of the Bull You Can't Bear. I am your host, Donald Johns, and if you're joining us for the first time, welcome in. This show is where we simplify Wall Street, explain the markets, and help connect Main Street to Wall Street through practical financial education. Because here's what I've learned after more than 2 decades in financial services. Successful investing isn't about predicting the future. It's about developing a better process for making decisions. Last week, we talked about knowing more so you could fear less. Today, we're taking the next step. Today, we're talking about how investors think differently than everyone else, not emotionally, not impulsively, but intentionally, because the market doesn't reward the loudest voice. It rewards disciplined decision-making over time. So let's get started. Welcome to the Bulls Market Pulse. This is where we step back from the headlines and focus on what really matters. Every single day, thousands of headlines compete for your attention. Breaking news, market alerts, economic reports, political commentary, analyst opinions, social media predictions. The question isn't, did something happen? The question is, does it matter? Professional investors, they don't react to every headline. They filter, they evaluate, they prioritize. The market rewards perspective, friends, not panic. Let's do my bullish breakdown, and today's bullish breakdown is signal versus noise. Here's one of the biggest mistakes investors make. They confuse activity with importance. Just because something is trending doesn't mean it changes your investment thesis. Markets move every day. News changes every hour, but great businesses and great companies, long-term investment goals, they don't usually change overnight. Successful investors, they ask, is this temporary or is this fundamental? That one question alone can dramatically improve the quality of your thinking. Let's do the bull versus bear. Every investment, it has two sides. The bull asks, what could go right? The bear asks, what could go wrong? Neither side is always right. The most successful investors don't become permanent bulls or permanent bears. They become objective, they gather information, they challenge their own assumptions, they remain flexible as new information becomes available to them. That's not weakness, friends. That's discipline. Let's do my Investors Toolbox. This is a new segment I'm adding in. Today's tool is Circle of Competence. Legendary investors often emphasize the importance of understanding what you own. You don't need to understand every industry. It's impossible. Every technology, every company, you simply need to recognize what you know and what you don't. One of the most expensive words in investing is, I think. One of the most valuable phrases is, I don't know enough. Learning before acting isn't hesitation, it's preparation, bulls. Let's do where Main Street meets Wall Street. Let's bring this to the home front. Imagine two people, both see the market headline go across, the ticker, and one immediately sells, the other asks, has anything actually changed about my long-term financial goals? See, it's the same headline, but it's a different mindset. That's where Wall Street meets Main Street. The news doesn't determine your outcome. The process often does. The ability to pause, think, and evaluate can be just as valuable as finding the next investment opportunity. Let's do my watch list today. Here are a few things investors often monitor, not because they predict the future, but because they provide context. Corporate earnings, Federal Reserve communications, inflation trends, employment reports, consumer spending, manufacturing activity, housing data. Economic information is most useful when viewed as a part of a broader picture rather than in isolation. Let's do the relationship to risk. Risk it isn't just about market volatility. Risk also includes not understanding what you own, making emotional decisions. Emotions have no place in the market, friends. Chasing trends, ignoring diversification, or taking action without a clear plan. Good investing isn't about eliminating risk, it's about understanding it. It is Wednesday. We got to get over the hump together. So today's my hump day challenge. We're going to do this every Wednesday. Let's get over it, baby. Here's your challenge before next Wednesday. Read one financial article. Look, I know they can be a little bit boring, but it's very educating. Then ask yourself 3 questions. What happened? Why did it happen? Does it actually change anything for me? If the answer is no, bravo, congratulations. You're already thinking differently than most investors. Pat yourself on the back. Let's do my bullish takeaway. Here's today's lesson. Markets will always generate noise. Successful investors learn to recognize the signal. They ask better questions. They stay curious. They avoid emotional decisions, and they remain focused on their long-term objectives. See, knowledge doesn't eliminate uncertainty, but it can improve the quality of your decisions. In closing, friends, I want to thank you again for joining me for another Wall Street Wednesday on the Unbearably Bullish podcast. If today's episode helped you think differently, share it with someone who's looking to better understand the markets. You can also visit us at thebullyoucan'tbear.com. Join our community across YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Pocket Cast, Castbox, Good Pods, and Overcast. Next week, we'll continue building your investing knowledge with another practical lesson designed to make Wall Street more understandable and more approachable. Until then, always remember, strong markets, stronger mindset, unlimited opportunity. Follow the herd, baby. I'm Donald Johns, and remember always to stay unbearably bullish. Before we wrap this up today, I have to leave you with an important reminder that the opinions and information shared on the Unbearably Bullish podcast are provided for educational and informational purposes only. Nothing discussed in this podcast should be considered personalized investment, legal, accounting, or tax advice, nor should it be interpreted as a recommendation to buy, sell, or hold any security or investment strategy. All investments involve risk, including the possible loss of principal. Markets fluctuate, economic conditions change, and past performance does not guarantee future results. Every investor's financial situation, objectives, and risk tolerance, they're unique. Always conduct your own research and consult with a qualified financial, legal, and tax professional before making any investment or financial decisions. Our mission is simple: to educate, empower, and help you become a more informed investor by understanding how markets work and how disciplined thinking can support better financial decisions. Thank you, as always, for joining me today. I will see you next Wednesday for another edition of Wall Street Wednesday. And until then, strong market, strong mindset, unlimited opportunity. Follow the herd. And I am Donald Johns, your host. I love all of you. And remember to stay unbearably bullish. Have a wonderful Hump Day Wednesday.